Hello everyone, Adam Prime back again for the next week of the Blazing Toku Moviethon. As you can see, I'm covering Shin Kamen Rider Prologue. Oh boy. This movie released in 1992. So it's 3 years older than the last movie we did. I'm also redoing this movie again. So this is the second time I've seen this movie. Both times for the Blazing Toku Moviethon. And I did it the first year, but I can't remember exactly when I did it. So, with that in mind, if I spoil you, I don't know how I did. This movie is really strange, and I feel like no matter what I say sounds almost unreal. But trust me, if you watch this movie, what I'm about to say does happen. So spoiler alert before we get started. And now I'm going to try to give the quickest summary I have. Which is really hard for the biggest reason being that it is an incoherent mess. Shin Kamen Rider Prologue is so weird and out there. I feel like me trying to describe what happened is just gonna make it seem almost too straightforward, because it's so weird. Because it opens up with what we assume is Shin walking around in his bug form, murdering people. But then we find out that it's a dream. And then you move forward, and you find out he has helping his dad try to cure cancer. Because you know when you're trying to cure cancer and you accidentally make bionic bugmen? As you do, regular Tuesday. It got really weird, and like they work for this organization. They just kept calling it in my subs that I was watching, the organization. I guess they're also called the Foundation, but I never really heard them say that, so it's really weird. But pretty much, he helps his dad, accidentally becomes a bug man because his dad's trying to cure cancer and AIDS. He straight up just says he's trying to cure those with this new healing ability, and there's multiple levels. But then we find out that the government wants to send him away to do something. I think they just wanted to sample. I don't know. But either way, you find out that like his dad's helper, protege, partner on the project is also a bug man, and he's actually the reason Shin became a bug man, because he like bugs and insects too much that he was like, you know, what happens if we make a half grasshopper man? And then it's weird. It gets weird. And then all of a sudden that means nothing. We see him get dealt with. And then, like right after he goes ballistic, the next time you see him is he's in a straitjacket, which I guess he no longer has the power to do anything to, because he's just in a straitjacket getting fed soup. It's weird. But then you find out like Shin's love interest, which he had maybe a sex scene. I don't know. It's just like they're not together. It's not like it's his girlfriend. No, it's like they get together in this movie. You see it happen. Well, you don't see it happen. You see them like form the bond of their relationship. You see his hairy legs a lot. It's not worth the 3 seconds of boobie you get. If you're watching this movie for titty, don't do it. It's not worth it. But, and it pretty much just ends with everything going into mayhem. He fights a cyborg after his girlfriend love interest gets shot to death. But then he gets into a helicopter. Then that explodes. A building explodes. And then he's in the sewer. And then the movie's over. Credits roll. There's so much I might have skipped. There's a lot I probably forgot to mention. But it's so insane. I don't think whatever I can say is going to do it all justice. I'm just doing what I can remember clearly. There was a lot of him just being like stone cold face. Like, he's just... It got weird. Talking about the characters, there really aren't that many. Like, let's get some big ones out of the way. The main villain is just a main villain. Like, this has weirdly a good number of villains, because at first you think, you're like, oh, it's the other Bugman scientist. But no, it's not him. He then gets straitjacketed and then gets caught on fire and is killed. Like, halfway through the movie. So I guess he's not. I guess it's this organization leader with his cyborg guy who has no eyebrows. Like, they don't really have any personality outside of being evil. And the other guy just had a weird thing for bugs. It's just, okay. Even Shin's dad, I can't even remember his name. He was just there to be good scientist. Good scientist trying to cure cancer. And his research is getting abused. That's his character. And even our main character, Shin, is barely even anything. He feels like a cardboard cutout. Like, he doesn't really get a lot. We get stuff told about him, like apparently he at one point wanted to be a motorcycle league champion. But, like, we don't see it. We don't see him want it. You know, we see him on a motorcycle, like, 3 times. But, like, it doesn't make it feel that it's important to him. It's just more like, yep, I'm riding a bike. And, like, things just happen to him. But meanwhile, he had this one scene when he was revealing that, like, he was, like, seeing these visions right after he, like, woke up surrounded by the dead CIA agents, being like, I killed people, to, like, the love interest and his best friend, but they were just like, dude, you need to calm down. We're just trying to drink Sunny D. And he's just like, no, you have to get away. Oh, no. And then he gets to go skinny dipping with the love interest. That's literally what happened. It's like, we don't get a feeling for his character. And, like, if this is a prologue to a story, it's like, they didn't set up any characters I really care about. Even the love interest is just the, oh, I was working for the organization. How could I don't want to betray you because I love you and they used me. That was her thing. That was it. None of them have any depth. Even his friend. His friend was just there to be like, I need to get you laid. Also, I need to tell you that you need to work on your biking dream. That's all his friend was there for, and then never shows back up in the movie. Maybe if they did a sequel, maybe his friend would be back or something. I don't know. But none of these characters are anything. They're really only a couple sentences deep. You never really get a feel for their personalities. It just, honestly, this movie is just, I don't want to call it slow or, like, action-packed, because there are a lot of scenes where it's just them sitting around. But don't go into this movie expecting deep characters. It's just not, they're not there. And if you find Shin a deep character because you read, like, the SIC story or something, good for you. This is all I have to experience Shin. And it's weird. But moving on from the characters, the suits are good. Like, the effects on Shin and everything, even though it's gross when he pulsates, are really good. You can tell they put a lot of thought into how they want to design Shin. He is a gross grasshopper man because that's exactly what they're going for. And of course, the other scientist guy, who's also a bug man, looks very similar to Shin, but he has his own details and it was like white eyes. the gross fetus thing is designed as a gross fetus thing. I don't want to show pictures both because I'm lazy and I don't want to look at that fetus thing again. It's gross. The cyborg thing was okay. Like, it honestly was just an upper torso of robot bits with tubes and a claw, like a gross claw. Like, he had, like, fingers, like, I can't do it. But, like, you tried to be Freddy Krueger and just couldn't do it. And it was just okay. His death scene was awesome. Like, Shin just Predator rips his head off and it's just like, ugh. And then he throws it and explodes. But this movie overall has so much that I feel like you can't get enjoyment by yourself because it just doesn't make any sense. To me personally, having watched it twice now, I had more fun watching it with another person than I had watching it by myself. Because watching it by myself, I was just so confused on what was going on. So yes, the designs are good, and I feel like everything they tried to do, they did what they wanted, but the story and the characters are just nothing. It's an incoherent mess of a movie. Just going from action scene to action scene to explosion after explosion with these weird, boring, odd parts in between. And there's so much of just Shin just kind of having like this death glare. Like, not even a death glare, like he just doesn't care and he's just like... And then they just play music around it. So, overall, I would not recommend this movie. If you have not watched a bunch of Kamen Rider movies, there are so many more you could probably watch that are better than Shin Kamen Rider Prologue. And I'd say go watch those. But if you've watched a lot of Rider movies and you're just like, I want to watch Shin eventually, watch it with some buddies. Don't watch it by yourself. But if you do watch it by yourself, or if you've watched it already, leave it down in the comments what you think about it. Maybe it makes more sense to you. But yeah, I can't recommend Shin. It's just, it's a mess. But until next weekend,